Here we go. Hi, and welcome to another Talking Cafe. My name is Dan. I'm from the Sedgemoor team of the Community Council for Somerset, and it's my pleasure to introduce Kevin Chorley today, who is going to discuss digital inclusion support for those that do not feel comfortable or competent or are in any way nervous around anything to do with IT. It's something that we as village agents have been welcome to support with people quite a bit over the time, especially when it came to shopping support and banking support and things like that to help people help themselves. So it's an absolute pleasure to introduce Kevin to the Talking Cafe today, and welcome, my friend, and thank you so much for your time.
No problem. Thanks very much for having me.
Who do you feel that you tend to support the most? Where do you think the most support is needed at the moment with regards to digital inclusion support?
So what we've done as a starting point is we had a look at the data we used, and a lot of information from the Somerset Intelligence Network site, coupled with our own data that we've got from historical surveys and some of our systems that we have at Sedgemoor District Council. And we kind of manipulated that data, I suppose, to some extent, because we have at Sedgemoor District Council something called a customer access program, and we are desperately trying to promote, push, encourage digital contact channels, and get a lot of our services online, give opportunities to customers to self-serve, which would negate the need for an officer to be involved. It quickens the process for a customer. The customer would have control. But in order to facilitate that, we quite accept that as things currently stand, there is a portion of our customers that, as you say, Daniel, that aren't confident. They don't have the hardware. They don't know where or how to access services, but they might be willing to access digital services. So we needed to get to the bottom of that. We needed to speak to these people, and we used our customer panel predominantly. We have a number of people, well over 100 people as part of our customer panel that we were consulting, and they come from all ranges and walks of life, and various ranges of digital skill and ability, and we're consulting with them, and we're asking them, what would make it easier for you to get online? What would make it easier for you to access digital services? Now, some have come back and said, oh, it'd be great if we did this, that, and the other. Others are saying, do you know what? I'm never going to use digital services. I still want to speak to somebody face to face. I still want to handwrite a letter. I still want to fill in a form, and that's absolutely fine. So from the very outset, part of our agenda for our digital inclusion work was to have a key strap line in that we were encouraging our customers and the work that we're doing, and it was digital by choice, not by default. Absolutely not by default, because we don't want to exclude customers from accessing certain areas of our service. So digital by choice, we felt was absolutely the key message that we wanted to portray with our digital inclusion work. And part of our digital inclusion work is getting out into the community. So we are in the process at the moment of implementing something we're calling customer access points. Now, we, again, as referring to the data, we've had a look at the data. We've had a look at sort of areas of deprivation. We've had a look at the digital skill levels. We've had a look at population levels, age demographics, all sorts of data we've thrown into the mix. And our first customer access point launched in June time, and that was in the Breen and Barrow area. Now, we've been working with a local community group called Good Neighbours. We've also teamed up with yourselves. We've also teamed up with CAB, DWP, Spark as well. All of these organisations doing tremendous work, and we're all pulling in the same direction in terms of trying to upskill our customers, trying to do more with digital inclusion. So that customer access point isn't about, oh, come and speak to the council at this customer access point in the Breen and Barrow area. No, it's not about that at all. That's a benefit that you can do that. What we very, very much want this customer access point to be is a place where customers, mutual customers, customers of ours, customers of yours, customers of the CAB can come and become more confident around using digital tools, it being a safe place, a safe environment to come and ask those questions that they might not feel able to ask. Well, how do I do my shopping online? I've never sent a text message. How do I send a text message?
Emails, etc. Yeah.
Emails. Oh, I don't have an email address. Can you help me? Can you
Yeah.
support me to get an email address? Something as simple as to either me or you, something as simple as that might be an absolute minefield to somebody else. We would be there. And when I say we, that's the collective we, CAB, village agents, district council, all of us, all of that are involved. We would be there to support and help our mutual customers to become more digitally confident.
Yeah, I think they find, it's like you said, it's a wonderful thing to advocate, and I think it's very empowering, the digital by choice ethic. But there's always been a thing, a stream that's come through with regards to clients to us village agents, where on discussion around certain support, especially around like the IT side of things, they almost felt cornered into becoming confident and confident around IT, because post offices, banks, lots of other things have shut. People that normally felt very comfortable and never needed to make any other choice other than to actually go shopping independently themselves may have thought through numerous reasons that we've coped with at the moment of having to shop online as it's their own best interests and what have you. But although yes, I mean, I do really admire people that have been so resilient over so many years and so self-sufficient and confident to be so, feeling that they need to learn another skill. The support that is there, and I know that the Breen and Barrow project was very, very successful. I mean, there is people that came with not a complete open mind, because of the fact that it was something that they felt they had to do initially as they walked through the door for it. But they have been welcomed in, they have been listened to on a person-centered basis. The fears and the apprehensions around all sorts of things, or what if I press the wrong button, how secure is this, it involves my money, I don't like this, and that sort of thing, that have been tackled. So I would like to take the opportunity, to whoever's listening at the moment and whoever will be listening moving forward, there has been people that have had those fears, quite understandable fears, and those fears have been placated, and people have felt able to carry out the basic things that they're only intending to use anything online for, be it banking, be it shopping, be it certain apps that they can't access, unfortunately, on a one-to-one basis anymore. And they've managed to progress and move forward and feel confident with that. So the Barrow and Breen support networks have been successful, like we've said. Do you see any more opening up, especially in and around like the Bridgewater area and the surrounding villages adjacent to Bridgewater, may I ask?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's certainly what we want to do. We want a network of customer access points. So this is about us taking the service to our customers. That's become a necessity almost in the current climate. With COVID, there's some environmental impacts that we need to consider as well. If customers can access our service from a customer access point that's effectively on their doorstep, then that negates any kind of need to travel. Like I say, not only is there a positive environmental impact to that, there's we also need to factor in a cost, a monetary cost to that as well. With if people can't drive, and we're talking about public transport links and things like that, to have a customer access point that's much closer than a central office, then that has to be a benefit. So there's that sort of consideration as well. But you're right, Danny. We're looking to expand our customer access points. Work's ongoing at the moment to identify a second area. We're certainly looking in and around Bridgewater and some of the further afield local villages. We're looking north, south, east, and west, as well as like I say, more central in Bridgewater. When that's going to happen, we don't know yet. We're still sort of in that testing, trying, implementing, designing phase with our breed and barrow. We're still fairly new with that one, but we're learning a lot. All those involved have been tremendous, as I say. And I think one of the key factors to implementing the customer access point in the breed and barrow area is that we've gone with an approach that we haven't implemented what we think customers want at the customer access point, or what they want to be doing or what they want to be accessing. We've listened to the community in that area, and they have told us what they would like to be delivered and the sort of things that they want to be doing and learning at a customer access point. So I think that's a really innovative approach. I think that's really new. I think that's quite fresh. It's not a one size fits all. So although it will still be under the guise of a customer access point, the next one that we open could well be very different to the one at Breed and Barrow, because we are listening to the local community. But just to come back on a point that you raised just now as well, it is very much about, as you say, if somebody has a question, if somebody wants some support about banking, about setting up emails, that's exactly the sort of thing that we want to do. That's exactly the sort of environment that we want to promote, where customers feel comfortable coming in and asking that question. I don't know what this is. I don't know what a home page is. What's a desktop? I've been bought this phone or tablet. Can you help me set it up, or something like that? And then we would like to introduce to customers, the benefits of what being online means, of what being more digitally capable, more digitally confident, the benefits that can bring. We've referred to it already. Shopping online, it's very simple. It just necessitates possibly someone sitting down with somebody to make the first order or something like that, and to realize, actually, this is great, this is for me, I'm going to start using it. So it's that sort of ball rolling effect that we want to try and promote, and then from there we hope our customers will become more digitally confident, start being braver to do things more themselves in their own home. You don't need to bring your own hardware with you. You don't need to bring your own phones or laptops. There's hardware available at the customer access points as well. So you can make use of that. We have a particular software that's specific to the council that customers can use, called Attend Anywhere. So if there are appointments that have been arranged face-to-face, but the customer doesn't feel that they can travel into the central offices in Bridgwater, they can access a customer access point and use something called Attend Anywhere. It's a face-to-face video conferencing software that the customer can be supported to get online and use. It's quite prominent in GP surgeries. It's used a lot throughout the NHS for consultations and stuff like that as well. So the council are using that. Our partners, Citizens Advice, are going to start using that as well. So that's quite an innovative technology, again, that has positive environmental and monetary impacts for customers. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff happening, and I just want to sort of drive home the point again. It is digital by choice, and we're not pushing anybody down a particular route. All of the old communication channels are available. You can still pop into our reception area as and when it's open. Obviously, the COVID cases are spiking at the moment, so we need to be careful with that and manage that as effectively as we can. But this is really exciting. This is a safe place where our customers can come, become digitally confident, and it's not all about the council. It is very general digital confidence, digital skill building within your local community.
Undoubtedly. So dates with regards to other places, possibly in Bridgwater itself somewhere, could be following shortly. As
absolutely.
when the situation that we're in at the moment allows the unnecessary kind of central venue that could be accessible to all in Bridgwater and the surrounding villages. What would someone expect when they attend a customer access point moving forward? Say, for argument's sake, you have someone who has kind of never heard of Wi-Fi, doesn't know what broadband is. Like you said before, with regards to someone that's possibly bought something from a grandchild that you know, with every intention, meaning to help as much as possible because of what everyone's faced at the moment. And they are absolutely completely unaware of what the capability of this implement is and how to access it moving forward. You know, for argument's sake, they haven't got any broadband at all, you know, in their home yet. How much would the support go, you know, with regards to, is it a volunteer at the customer access point?
It is, yeah. And I've made reference to Spark. We're working with Spark and the Barclays Digital Eagles program to train. We've recruited a total of 7 digital champions at the moment to support us at our customer access points. So you can expect, first and foremost, a warm, friendly welcome and probably a cup of tea. And you can expect a knowledgeable and trained volunteer to help support with your digital needs. And the scenario that you described there, Daniel, that's exactly the scenario that we're planning for. Somebody coming in and asking those sorts of questions. And so, you know, that customer will be afforded time to sit down, understand and learn about their device, what the capabilities are, by from one of our trained digital champions. And then from then on, you know, they can build a relationship with a customer access point and come back week on week, ask those questions, become more confident, do more online, take advantage of the benefits of what being online and digitally skilled can offer. And we hope then that customer would feel confident enough, brave enough to pass on their knowledge to friends and family, not necessarily through the customer access point, but you know, just off their own back to a neighbor or a close friend. You know, there's a lot throughout these really difficult times that we're in at the moment. There is a lot of natural digital inclusion work that's been ongoing. You know, when we were all confined to our homes, when we had that stay-at-home order, you know, there were a lot of people that were getting online and using face calling softwares, you know, having video calls on phones, on laptops, you know, doing more online with the shopping and the banking, because it was, their hand was forced to some extent. So that's what I'm talking about with that sort of natural digital inclusion work. There's already a momentum. There's already an increased desire to do a little bit more online.
Necessity even,
yeah, absolutely, necessity even, yeah. So we're just trying to keep up that momentum. We're just trying to keep that ball moving forward, and speak to our customers and say, look, you can do this, and if you need a hand, we're there. But that isn't just our customers. You know, our customers to access any of the council services or any of the services of our partners, but we're also taking the same approach internally with our staff as well, because we quite accept that if our customers are going to interact with us digitally, then our staff need to be digitally confident and digitally capable at the council as well. So that's part of the work. So our staff can take advantage of the customer's request to interact more digitally, and our staff can pass on the knowledge and skills that they have to customers, so they can become more confident. So it's yeah, it's really nice to be involved with. It's a great piece of work. We're seeing a lot of benefits, and yeah, in the immediate short term, we're hoping to start the ball rolling with another customer access point. Again, that just means going back to the data, have a look at the some of the stats and where we could potentially fire up another customer access point and work with the community, more importantly, to do so.
Exactly that. Referring back to some people that have already been supported, and you saying, you know, almost like a word of mouth thing, you know, encouraging others to do the same. I do feel that has happened. I do feel, you know, in the time where people have been managing to kind of socialize again and you know, in necessarily small groups and, you know, and speak to people on a face-to-face level. I do feel that has happened where, you know, there has been people that, as we briefed on before, have had no interest or no desire to realistically access anything that one could deem to be kind of online before. then felt, like we said, the necessity to try and have to learn more in order to, maintain their own best interests, well-being, and I dare say independence.
Yes.
To be able to get these things for. And then, when they have been slowly, step by step, shown how to help theirself on certain devices, be it a laptop, be it a phone, be it a tablet, moving forward. That certain sense of pride that has been achieved, that they've managed to feel confident on a device or on anything that they never thought that they would feel confident with, get that knowledge of understanding, and I dare say empowerment. And they have absolutely inspired others to slowly take that step, as if if so and so can do it, then perhaps I can. A lot of people were very closed off to such things, or I wouldn't go as far to say intimidated by it, but just wanted to avoid it for as long as they possibly could. But when they actually were introduced on their own terms and conditions, like you said, gently brought forward at their own speed, no question being a silly question. It's absolutely fine if you know absolutely nothing. There can be a step-by-step advice service to help people find what's best for them. Say, for argument's sake, if there is no a broadband to a property, what could be the best deal? How would that involve setting up? Who could I call? And then moving from one step to another. I do feel, that when there is another customer access point opened up, and possibly a couple moving forward as time goes on, especially when when people can speak to each other again freely without feeling too reserved by the COVID situation that we've got at the moment. There's going to be another band of people who genuinely were going to choose not to access this sort of thing, to actually find it incredibly helpful, very useful, and feel proud of themselves for being able to do what they want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the important messages there that comes through what you've just said is actually digital is quite fun. It can be really fun. It shouldn't be a frightening experience or something that puts you off from doing something. And I think, again, that's certainly the message that we want to try and portray and encourage our customers to take on board. This sort of thing now, we wouldn't probably have even entertained this sort of idea pre-COVID, but it's fun. It's getting a message out there. It's another opportunity for us to communicate, work together, speak to our customers, and again, it's fun. Digital doesn't need to be, to use a couple of words that you said there, it doesn't need to be intimidating. We want to try and encourage our customers to ask those silly questions.
Exactly.
And again, hopefully they'll go away with some level of empowerment, that they can take control of certain situations that are happening within their lives. Digital can play a big part in helping them achieve that. So yeah, that's the key messages. That's what we want to do. This isn't about a big digital inclusion program pushing everybody, all of our customers for Sedgemoor District Council, down a digital route. It's not at all. It's about increasing our digital offering, making services more digitally accessible, and working with our customers to support them to take advantage of that. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. But if you're interested and you fancy a crack at it, use one of our customer access points. Don't be frightened, and give it a go, I guess.
Exactly. I mean, like you said, I mean, the Breen and Barrow one being an example, I mean, everyone managed to move forward at a pace that was comfortable for them. For people that kind of, has had a mobile for years and mastered text messaging, and possibly even had an email address that they mastered as well, know full well that it's not a huge, not a world away from texting really, to other, rural folk that have had no interest in anything other than, say, for argument's sake, the TV. And, all, as I said, has managed to progress forward, trust the process, and realize that it is safe. It's not something, all of a sudden when you sign on to something, it's going to cause nothing but trouble, because of the scare stories that people have, heard and all that sort of thing. That sort of thing can be put into perspective, and they can realize how safe the situation is moving forward. And, especially with winter months coming at the moment, difficulties around transportation, difficulties around mobility, I dare say, as thing goes on with some people, the convenience of doing certain things online can certainly outweigh the inconvenience of having to get up and go somewhere. Sometimes you socialize by all means moving forward, clubs and all the what have you, but the having to get up just to necessarily do shopping, which to some people can be a massive chore, or drive 7 or 8 miles to hand something into the bank for 10 seconds, doesn't necessarily have to be the case anymore. You can have that much more choice, moving forward, and you don't have to drag yourself up or drag yourself away on a cold winter's morning sometimes. And it can be hugely advantageous to everyone to have that, as we said, empowerment and choice, moving forward. That's always been the case.
Just to make people feel a little bit more comfortable, I mean, my title, I'm Digital Engagement Manager at Sedgemoor District Council. I still love pen and paper. That's fine. I don't think I'll truly move away from that, but I am using more digital tools because they are exciting, because they help me be more efficient in my role. But again, I'm always learning. I mean, it was just the other day that I used a banking app on my phone to pay in a check. When I could do that from the comfort of my own home, exactly what you've just referenced. I didn't need to travel into the bank, into the middle of the town to pay in that check. Scanned it through my banking app. It was job done. So I'm still learning. I'm of a particular culture, of a particular age, where I've grew up with more of a digital upbringing. And I quite accept that some of our customers, again, to reiterate, have not had that culture, have not been digital, doesn't come naturally to them. It does have to be learnt. I mean, I look at my children at the moment. I've got a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old, and when I look at them on the on their iPad, and or working daddy's phone or something like that, I just think, you scratch your head and you sort of think to yourself, oh my goodness me, when did that ever, and it just comes naturally to that sort of culture, that sort of age. And so it can be taught, you can learn from it, it can be exciting. So yeah, we would just encourage as many people as we can to get involved with their local customer access point. And as they roll out across the district, obviously there'll be more opportunity to get involved with them as well.
And you will be able to, as and when there's any more clarification with regards to future customer access points, you'll make sure that information is made freely available. Obviously, us, the Community Council for Somerset, as well as you guys, Somerset Council, will make sure that everyone is made aware of those times, dates, places, etc., moving forward, and possibly, especially when there is other ones opened up, maybe we could talk on the Talking Cafe again about how that's progressed.
Love to come back.
Possibly help more people empower themselves on an IT basis moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a tremendous PR and comms team at the district council. So any opportunity to talk about the work that we're doing and spread the word, like you say, about additional customer access points through yourselves, through the traditional council communications channels, through our other partners like Citizens Advice and Spark and DWP. And the community group that we're working with, and obviously at the moment the Good Neighbours and the other community groups in the future. Any opportunity that I've got, that we've got to talk about this digital inclusion work on a bigger platform and district wide, I'll snatch your hand off it. Don't worry. So yeah, when the next one's raised,
Fantastic.
pencil
That's
my
great.
name in. I'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be in touch, my friend. Thank you so much for your time.
Most welcome.
It's been an absolutely fabulous talking cafe. I'm sure that it is going to empower more people to move forward and help themselves in this situation.
I hope so.
Thank you. Thank you.
Most welcome. Cheers.
Yeah.